my gate to paint before you start. It's not my gate to paint. We've got other people living here now, they can sort it. I did the path, remember? Good morning, how are you? It's the last day of 2024 today. Look at him here, he looks majestic. Look at this. Look at him there, man. He's looking very smart. Good morning, how are you? Last day of the year. Been thinking about this one. Are you on the right length? Get you longer. Been thinking about this one for a while. Been thinking about it's like a year in review of the videos I've done. Because of that, I brought out a second phone. Never trust a man with two phones, by the way. That's what they say. 50 videos were done. I did 50 videos in 2024. Just under one a week. It's not bad, was it? It's like, where do I find the time? It's crazy. What I thought I'd do is I thought I'd do actually a review of the 50 to see if they're still relevant more than anything, you know what I mean? So last couple of days I've gone into each video. Got some quite interesting stats and theories about them, by the way. AI's been involved as well, which was a bit of a surprise for me. I didn't even know that got involved on YouTube, but it does. So let's have a look and see what we started off with. 2024 started off with a bang, was the first video I did. And that was when I was back in Kayasavaki. And that was actually replying to I'll call it a fellow YouTuber who decided to arrive in Tenerife and just slag the island off. And I made a video about the fact, the one previous book was actually 2023, that I said there'll come a day when businesses will not want to see YouTubers, vloggers in their restaurants. And he responded back. And 2024 started with a bang was my response to that, because you don't have to remember anything. If you're just mentioning the truth, you never have to remember anything. And pretty much I got a bit of a tough reaction for it. But to this day, I still stand by it. And I've seen a couple of videos this year from other people. Just bear in mind, we all share the same hobby, but we all do different stuff. But I've seen a video from other couple of people that I still stand by that fact. Is that if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, basically. The next one was behind the eyes, what's really going on. And that was the story of a fellow entertainer who is, day in, day out, is going on stage, putting on one of the most energetic shows you'll ever see in Tenerife. It's the energy that's coming from is phenomenal. But then behind the eyes, it's his own struggles that he was facing on a day-to-day basis. Still not in contact with the entertainer anymore, but I still, you know, when we see each other, we still have a chat and a bit of a bromance hug and stuff like that. His story's up and down, and his story's definitely ongoing. So wishing that person all the best in that one. But it was an interesting one, it really is. It shows, highlights, sometimes it's not all what it appears to see, you know what I mean? Next one was decisions. That was the fire at the live pause, where you guys fantastically, off the Rick and Shelley channel, what hands here? Off the Rick and Shelley channel, you guys raised, I think it was nearly £2,000 or something, to help live pause when they had the fire. And the decisions was we took Max, the Podenco, we took him to the house and as a foster, and we thought about keeping him. So as you're aware, we're still thinking about getting a second dog. Nothing's been decided yet, because we've got to make sure it's the right decision to do. But we decided not to keep Max purely because Rolla didn't play well with him at all. And I didn't want to be the man with the two big dogs. Remember, walking down the street and you've got two big dogs in your arm and everyone looks at you and they go, nah, I don't want to be that person. So the decisions, it was a tough one to make. We had Max for about 4 or 5 days. We slept in separate rooms. Shelley slept upstairs with Rolo. I slept downstairs on the couch with Max, because we couldn't trust leaving the two dogs together. Basically because we didn't realise at the time, only for a couple of days, Max was only about 7 or 8 months old, but he was a huge dog for that age. So there was an age difference. And this one doesn't play well with boy dogs. We came to that conclusion anyway. So that was that one, decisions. That was a tough one. That was a really tough one. Struggled with that one. The next one was a story. Yeah, I can't remember the title of it. But it was the story of an old service manager in a place I worked where he was so well known and loved, but had an affair, got caught on cameras, and I actually had to sack him. So I became the villain. But I came the villain. It was a story. I came the villain, but I saved his marriage. And I became a villain in front of a team of maybe 80 people. This is where AI kicks in. AI generated, there's actually comments on YouTube with AI. The video follows a person as they discuss two difficult choices they had to make. Oh, it's the same video. The first choice involves a dog, which is keeping Max, and the second choice involves a work situation. The video explores the impact of these choices on the person's life and the challenges they faced. Who knew AI was involved? That's unreal, isn't it? AI's involved in that. It's incredible. So that was that one. Right, I'm at the top of the hill. I'm going to carry on again as a... Sorry, I'm at the bottom of the hill. I'm going to carry on when we get to the top of the hill, and we'll carry on this further. It's a pretty walk, innit? It's not too bad. So anyway, where were we? But next one was roll with it. And I think it was when we were told that we had to move house, and we found an apartment that we fancied, but there's no way we were going to get it because the person who had the keys, she was going to give it to her mate, so you got to roll with it. And sometimes that's just the way it goes, isn't it? There's not a lot you can do with that. So that was that one. The untold victim of divorce. Lost my dog. The dog that I had when the kids were growing up. That was a rescue dog called Penny. Beautiful dog. Died of old age. Everyone was distraught, Alice especially. And she comes up further on in one of the videos where friends help out with regards to some clever design, I think, on that one. 6 degrees of separation. That's the saying that... Stop. That's the saying that you're only 6 people away from anybody in the world. And mine was the John Darwin story. Remember the canoe man? It was a really, really fascinating story that happened the day before he turned up. I found out that I worked with a friend of his, and he was mentioning his story, so that was interesting. So once I've walked up the hill, I've got to walk down the hill before I go back up the hill again. And this is where he pulls, because there's pigeons around here. He likes the pigeons around this area. So 6 degrees, there you go. Oh, there's a guinea fowl. Sometimes it's a struggle. Doubts kill dreams more than failure ever will. Sometimes it's a struggle. Yeah, it's actually just carrying on rather than doubting yourself. I think that was cracking on. I need to look at that one. Interview with Frankie Matt was the following one. That was really fantastic. That was really interesting. That was one of the first ones I thought I'd try and... For those of you who don't know, the entertainer on the island, Frankie Mac, he's a lad I think's going places. I really do. Whether he makes it or not, I wish him all the success. Whether he makes it or not is irrelevant. The fact that he's the driving force of what he does is absolutely brilliant. I know he's just done the assembly rooms twice now up in Edinburgh, and he's sold them out with his entertainment show. I think he's just raised, I think he's just raised about £5,000 for charity as well, with all the selling of his CDs and calendars to people. And they've gone, the money's gone to 2 different charities. I saw that on his Facebook. I follow him closely of what he does. And I think he does phenomenal. And I always say my strapline to him every time I finish is saving that front row seat in Vegas, because that's where he's trying to get to. And if you shoot for the stars, you're going to hit the sky, aren't you, really? And he's definitely shooting for the stars, which it's just nice to see somebody chasing a dream and having so much passion and enthusiasm about his dream. In essence, he might even become, in the end, a motivational speaker. I think that might be the direction his career goes, because he's very, very forward, very, very proactive with his career and with his positive mind, positive attitude. So I think he could do that, really. He could. Let's see what the next one is. I'm juggling a dog and 2 phones here, so let me let's have a look. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Alice gets her tattoo, community help with the design. When when Penny went to sleep, the vet took a 3D picture, paw print of her, of Penny, and then put it in some sort of like little frame or little case. So we've got the paw print of Penny, and Alice wanted that tattooed on her arm. She's old enough now, she's 20, and in the place where Penny's head was when when the vet put her to sleep. But nobody knew how to do it, how to get the paw print from a plaster cast into a 2D into her arm, so a 2D picture, so she could then get it tattooed on her arm. And that's where her community stepped in and helped out, because her community is all students studying stuff, and one of them was studying graphic design. So in the end, eventually, it's not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it? And they came to her rescue and saved her, which was really good. When is the correct time to stop? Me stopping comparing. It's when, I think that vlog for me was a pivotal moment of the year for me, because that one for me was the moment I realised I'd reached the peak of comparing, and basing it on the Frankie Mac story beforehand of being proactive and seeing what you can achieve, I'd hit my ceiling. And it was like, well, if that's the ceiling, what else can I do? For me to reach further, I'm going to have to change a bit of direction. And that was when the day I decided, look, I'm going to stop this comparing, because I need to change direction, change gears. The opportunity arose for me to where I could take that leave. I can always go back to it, I knew that. But I didn't want to be hit with a ceiling, and, that's the reason why I decided then it was time to stop. Do I regret it? No regrets. Funnily enough, I now do comparing as cover, so I still keep me toe in there. I'm working tonight, New Year's Eve, funnily enough, and I'm working tonight on the seafront at Waxy O'Shea's. Busy bar, very big bar, and I'm doing a couple of hours down there for them, as I am next week as well. And I do it more now for fun rather than for necessity, which is really nice. If you do things for fun, it's a great way to, I feel very privileged, let's put it that way. I say it's a great way to live your life. I feel very privileged that I can choose to do things for fun. Hills, man. That's coming up as well. Next one was Tenerife's housing crisis. It's still there. We still have a massive housing crisis on this island. Far too many people buying up properties for short-term holiday lets, which means the workers can't find anywhere to live, which is pushing the prices up incredibly, ridiculously. And it's like, if one house comes available, the minimum at least 100 people, let's say, trying to get it, and they're paying through the nose for it as well. So it needs to burst, really, before, and I don't know if it will. It's definitely not look like it's bursting this year. I don't know if it'll burst next year, but the crisis is bad. Like, it's not great at all. We're staying where we are for now because, as I said before, because of the crisis. Really, we were fortunate to find our place. Next one, are we getting a bar? That was great. A lot of rumour, speculation that we were going to get bars. You know, Ricky Shelley, you should get a bar. And my story was on that one was pretty much the story of the guy that owns the beer garden, who came onto the island with a wealth finances, and when he went for his bar, he decided to go big. He spent 200 grand on the beer garden. He then bought Maguire's. He's now bought Mustang Sally's. Spent another 250 grand on Mustang Sally's. We don't have that capital. If we bought a bar, we're going to compete against them sort of people. Waxy O'Shea's tonight is actually 4 locales. And they work. Those big bars really work. But if you want a bar over here from a one locale, you have to work it yourself. And the moment you work it yourself, for me, that's where I think that's where the ceiling comes again. That I can't break through a ceiling and see what the opportunity is. So that was the reason why we decided, long thought, because we nearly got one, we decided not to take a bar. Not my cross, not really interested in that one. That was the England football team when they put a gay pride cross on there, just to show most probably woke. I'm all for LGBTQ, as you know, but it's not a very interesting story, that one. It's always darkest before the dawn. Finding peace, finally appreciating how good life is. It was one of those moments, actually, one of these mornings I woke up and I just had that mood of like, you know, sometimes I can get in the dark mood, but this was one of the moods where I was like really, really appreciative of what I had. Let me just spin around, there's a car coming. I was extremely appreciative of what I had. And sometimes it just takes that moment where you've just got to stop and just think about it and just go, yeah, it's not bad, you know. It's not bad at all. And still another car, it's busy. And it's one of those ones I just went, yeah, I need to do this. I need to actually appreciate what I've got, which I did. Well, you don't need to go 2 miles an hour. Let's crack on. I've got him. The slow ride down. Thank you. Gracias. They must probably look at me with the camera and go, what the bloody hell is he doing as well? So, it was more of appreciation. It's nice to get out of the sun for a second. The sun's in my eyes. So what comes up after that one? Let's have a look. Should I start a band? It was another story about how 6 degrees separation, how I knew the story of Jason Orange getting in to take that. It was quite a funny story, that one. So I knew that one. It's time to level up. Telling the story about COVID and how the lockdown for me was more of a re-kickstart to go, let's make sure that I come out of COVID stronger and be thankful for it, rather than saying, oh, if it wasn't for COVID. And I'm pleased that we did the way we did it and what we did. Fixing my path. That was the path on the driveway, but that was more of a I keep thinking the word pseudonym, acronym. It's not. It was of life, really. Don't concentrate on the issue at hand. Concentrate on the issue in the distance, because the issue at hand will then get fixed. I think that was it. Look at my AI generation. I've got a note on here. Let's see what the AI generation is on there. The video follows a person who work on fixing their driveway, which is metaphorically, that's it, compared to their life path. They emphasise the importance of taking things one step at a time, chipping away at problems, and not being overwhelmed by the size of the task. The video also raises the question of whether or not to have a 5-year plan. Look at that. AI did that. That's ridiculous that AI scans the video, not a person, but AI has scanned that video and decided to do it. It's the future, isn't it? It's crazy. It's the future. Still awaiting my superpower. I was just looking at the old TV shows, and I was a big fan of The Fall Guy and Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man on Saturday night TV. The diagnosis is in: shingles. Oh my God. I thought I'd been bitten by mosquitoes, and then somebody scared me and said, have you not been bitten by a spider? And I was absolutely panicking. So I went to the chemist and they went, no, it's shingles. And that's been really a 6-month thing, really. I've not really got rid of that. I've only just coming out the other side. Even last night I was awake because I had an itch on my arm that felt like there's something crawling on the same spot all the time. And that, to be honest with you, was how shingles for me started. So I was even worried last night that it's still there. You can never get rid of it. It's something that's always going to be there. And it'll just raise its ugly head whenever it does. So there's not a lot I can do about that. What I learned from failure. It says, check the AI notes again. Stop, mate, you're pulling me. Let's have a look what the AI notes say from that. Oh, and it just jumps so far down. The speaker reflects on their experience with love and career, emphasising the importance of not actively searching for either. Is that the one I'm talking about? Yeah. They share their personal journey, including a failed attempt at becoming a professional golfer, and how they've since embraced a more multifaceted approach to their career path. The speaker, that's me, also discusses the importance of humility and finding something they love, suggesting that it's a gamble worth taking. Sounds like an interesting vlog. Thanks, AI. you did that about one of my vlogs. I think I might watch that. That was that one. I need some advice, Men's Club. I still think Men's Club was a great idea. I genuinely do. I thought Men's Club was a great idea. The problem with Men's Club was the idea is really good, but the platform's not. The idea to help men talk. Can't say anything wrong with that, can you? Why not? The idea to help get men talking, you can't say anything's wrong with that. However, it's not the platform, because too many people get involved in the platform, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So it was unfortunate, I think, but it was not a bad idea. I still don't think it's a bad idea. Time never stands still, mate. Honestly, why bring the dog on something like this? Stop. Time never stands still. Let's have a look at that one. AI generated. The speaker, me again, is back in the UK for a quick visit. Oh, right, yeah, see their daughter and granddaughter. That was the one where Time Never Stands Still was the... I went back to the UK and I stood outside the dealership that I used to work for, and they closed. And it just moves on, time moves on. And I was going back for my daughter because she was doing a passing out. She was doing a Shakespeare play. So I went back for 3 days to watch a 3-hour Shakespeare play. And I was telling the story about Gateshead Vauxhall, where I was the number in the top 3 salesman in the UK. And on the day of leaving, I walked out thinking I was Johnny Big Balls, and the manager just went, "You'll be replaced." And what do you mean? He says, "Well, the numbers are still going to be there. It's just somebody else will take them. Other people will take them. So you'll be replaced." Which is a bit disheartening, but it's the truth. It's so true. And I've lived by that mantra. Once I swallowed the pill, I lived by it for a long, long time. So the next one, let it pass you by. That was the one. That was me telling you about the time I left Gateshead Vauxhall and was told I would be replaced. Should this have not surprised me working at the Garrison? Oh, should this have not surprised me? That was an interesting one. I started the compare job at the Garrison in the Irish Oak, and that's when the kids, it's right near the Veronicas, and that's where the kids were coming in, and you're expecting like idiots, and they're like really, really nice, really respectful and really polite. So it surprised me a little bit, but it's no, it's good. I enjoyed that one. That was a really nice, positive one to make. How to Make a Human. That was an interview with Stephen Liesel, who've been on the island for years, and they do scouts over here, teach kids respect and duty and manners, which is, I think, very, very strong. I still believe in it as well. I learnt mine from the golf courses. It needs to be a two-way street, doesn't it? The power has gone to the head of a Facebook group called Love Costa Adeje. I still have a niggling with that Facebook page. Facebook pages, right? This reminded me of Jeremy Clarkson on The Farm, where he's going up against Chipping Norton, or whatever it is, the council. That they've got all the power, they don't want anything to change, and they'll just sit there in the ivory tower. And I was trying to do something positive for the area. I was trying to actually promote the bar, funnily enough, and I got absolutely, or they tried to tear strips off me, so in the end I just went back at them. The pain of leaving the UK to give light to my kids enjoying life. Yeah, that's true. I was telling the story about I made a decision 6 years ago to leave the UK, and the reason why I had to make that decision was because if I didn't, I'd always be dragged back into the divorce, and my kids would never have a light now where we are at this moment in time. And I think we just reached that moment and appreciative of it, which was nice. So that's good. I've got another big hill coming up, so and he's pulling me a bit too much. I'm going to take a short break. I'll come back in a second. The amount of all the cars over here because it doesn't rain. Do you remember that? It's the Nova GSI. Great looking car. Me and my mate Norky used to have one when he was, Norky had one when he was about 17, 18. Loved it. Great looking car, great condition. One of the greatest ones for me was the vlog that I said I need to tell you about last night. I worked at the Garrison till, I think it was 2 o'clock. And there was a family in there. And it was the it was the daughter and the dad thing that got me, because before you know it, the dad was up dancing to Taylor Swift, singing his head off. the words were on the screen, but I think he secretly knew them himself. I don't remember, his name was Russell, I think his name was Russell. And it was such a heartwarming moment to see. It really put a smile on my face. It just shows that the connection that, you know, if you do it right, the connection you can have with your kids. And it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to see that one. That was great. Let me tell you about last night. One of my favourite vlogs that was, to be honest with you. Is Tenerife safe? Oh my God. Is Tenerife safe? This was put up because, once again, other YouTubers on the island, we share the same hobby, but we do it in completely different ways. Mine is a hobby. Other people do it purely for monetary reasons. You realise negativity sells, and it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I still stand by it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Basically, the outcome of it is use your common sense. If you use your common sense, yes, Tenerife is safe. If you don't use your common sense, then people are there to take advantage of you. And that's it. That's it. But it infuriates me sometimes because it's at a cost. Some of the other videos are at a cost of businesses that I know, friends that I have on the island who are reliant on work over here. And it was blown, everything's just always blown completely out of proportion by certain people. And that's that one, really. You really want to know my views, just need to come and see me on when you're over at Tenerife, and just come and have a chat with us. Because I can't put it on here. I stole someone else's dream. Oh, the Australian breakdancer. How on earth did she manage to get into the Olympics? She definitely stole somebody else's dream. Somebody who's actually deserved of it. She's just manipulated her way in and stole it, basically. And scandalous, absolutely scandalous. And there's the whole story behind it, the backlash that came from it. It's today's fish and chip paper, but at the time, big news that was. Really big news. I swear you regret bringing your hoodie because the sun comes up and it starts heating up now quite nicely. This guy maxed me out. Shall I take the mic? This guy maxed me out. It's the story of, I try and learn. I don't think I ever stop learning. I don't think I ever stop doing. And I try and learn every day, so I listen to a lot of podcasts on these walks that I'm doing now. I listen to a lot of podcasts on these. And I learn a lot from a lot of different people. Marcus Andreessen thinks amazing. Elon Musk, phenomenal. Donald Trump, interesting. But this one was Jordan Peterson, the psychologist. And I just can't get past him. I don't know whether it's his voice, whether what he has to say. I don't know what it is, but I just can't get past him. And he literally, I'm trying to listen to him for an hour on a 3-hour interview, and I had to turn it off because he maxed me out. I was just like, no, I can't do that. That's maybe one too many. Maybe I've reached the peak of that, or the ceiling of that style of it, I think. Let's have a look what the next one is. Has the Madeleine McCann case finally been solved? That is one of the most interesting vlogs I think I made. I think it was, for me, I finally come to peace and I finally come to terms with the Madeleine McCann mystery. And I've been chatting with the author because the author kindly sent me his book. He reached out to me after my video and kindly sent me a book. And we were talking about it, and I said basically what he's done for what the family did for us was theft for ourselves as well. It was like mental theft. They stole mentally a part of us when we were bringing our kids up because of their actions. The next one, great one. A friend's journey. Meet Alan. Alonso Fraseiro is very quite high up in Scottish football. Really nice guy too. I'm trying to sort this out now because the dog normally jumps at cars after he's been sniffing. There's a couple of cars coming down. That has 2.9 thousand views, that one. And it's the story of Alan and the story of his mental health from the time of COVID. Salesman, quite interesting chat. And afterwards he was a bit gutted. He didn't mention a few more things. But Alan, if you're watching, I think you nailed it, to be honest with you, mate. I genuinely think you nailed that one. Very good. Tommy Robinson, where do you find the truth? This is a great one. Now we're getting into the gritty stuff. This is where it becomes not controversial, but gritty. The actual fact is Tommy Robinson innocent or guilty? Courts of the UK says he's guilty, hence the reason why now he's gone down for 18 months, whatever it is. But everybody on Tommy Robinson's side says he's only gone down, he's been incriminated for freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And it's a really interesting story. It's like, who's correct on this one? Who you believe is irrelevant, but who's correct? That's the interesting thing. And it's like, where then do you find the truth? because mainstream media, which is now being called legacy media because it's of the years gone by, is absolutely archaic and out of touch now. It's known that it lies. It's been proven time and time again that it's now a lying stream of media, where independent journalism, things like this, for instance, has far more merit. So where do you find the truth? Not who's right. Where do you find the truth? Where do you need to go looking for it? Can't find it on Google. You can't find it. So it's like, that's the turning pivotal point of the year for me, I think, was where do you find this truth? And I was using Tommy Robinson as an example of how do you find the truth. What I believe in with him is largely irrelevant, really, whether you agree or disagree. But it's actually, where do you find the truth? Everybody, at the end of the day, everybody just wants the truth, don't they? That's all it is. Very interesting one, that, especially now to see how it's come out since then. I had to react to this hate comment. Oh, wow. That was a grenade on this island. That was a grenade on this island. A fellow compere decided 1 o'clock in the morning to call me out because I'm pretty much the only one doing YouTube, and he was talking about, don't really cares about how many YouTube views you get. And the following morning backpedaled like mad. I think he was outside influence, genuinely, by somebody else that's turned up on the island. So, do you know when you get a dribble of poison in your ear? I think that was generally the case, because this person is not normally a mouthpiece like this. Gave the person an opportunity to apologise. He didn't apologise. And I went, right, well, tell you what, right, wrong or indifferent, I'm going to take your legs from under you. And that's why I did that. And at the time, as again today, it's fish and chip paper. But at the time, it was a very, very big deal. And I think the right actions were taken. And I still think to this day, the same actions would be taken. Not seen this person, well, I have seen this person since, but not spoke to him since. What was very interesting about that was before this happened, this person was going through a little bit of mental struggles themselves, and my last message was, if you need anything, mate, I'm there to talk for you. So I was actually extending a hand of help out before that happened. So, but there we go. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, see what the next one is. How much did I earn viral? Yeah, that was another interesting one, because 3 times viral, one very good, very nice chicken nugget man, the next one was Shelley, and I can't remember what the third one was. Oh, Billy Ocean, yeah. And how much did it actually earn? Because people are always curious, people want to know. And they do make money, so how much was it made? So go and have a look at that if you fancy it. I guarantee this video will save your life. This is the story, right? And I was actually with them yesterday, of Lisa and Magsy, who've actually stopped drinking. And they read the book to stop drinking, and I stopped drinking at the same time, and I was off it for about 3 weeks. I am since drinking, back on drinking again. I have a different mindset to it. I am going to actually, I've done one later on down the line, I actually have a conflict. I actually have a conflict with alcohol. I don't have a problem, but I've got a conflict with it, which needs I just need to address, which will be getting addressed in January. But that's definitely a great one to see. And they're still off the drink, which is absolutely brilliant. It's really good. Let's have a look. Trump takes victory. Another one. I actually spoke to somebody outside Gigi's the other night. No, outside Chicago's. And they just said, I watch your videos and stuff like that. He said, I've got to admit though, he said, I did unsubscribe when you were talking about Donald Trump. And I said, why? He went, oh, no, I resubscribed. We can have a difference of opinion. I said, it's not about any opinion of whether I believe he's the best man for the job. No, he's right for the job. He's out of everybody. He was the best man for the job at that moment in time. The Democrats would actually, if they'd have won, they'd have created a one-party country, the way they were doing it, in essence, which is communism. And Donald Trump was needed to keep it a two-party voting system in America. Whether he's the right man for the job, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But he was needed at that moment in time. The Republicans were needed to win at that moment in time. Without them, that's where it gets a bit giddy on the cars. Without that, it would, I think that the world would have been a bit more doomed, let's say. So that's my view on that one. Let's have a look. In-depth conversation with Scotsman in Tenerife. For those of you who know me, definitely know Scotsman in Tenerife. Always love having a chat with Kevin. He's a great lad. He's brilliant. No agenda. No airs or graces. What you see is what you get. and he's a great bloke. And one of the things that's come out of this YouTube is friendship, and he is a top bloke in my eyes. Guilty as charged. Litter picking. I was guilty because when I was a kid I used to litter, and now I pick up the litter. To be honest with you, my picker-upper broke, and I bought a new one just 2 days ago. So I'm going to be picking up this area another day because I've not done it for about 2 months. So it started to fill up again. So I'll be out here litter pickering. They only cost €2.60, those things. So I'll be getting myself another. I've got another one, sorry, I bought it the other day. So I'll just be getting my bin bag and coming out walking, and I'll be complaining about the dog pulling me when I'm trying to pick up litter. That's that one. If it's Friday, oh, I've talked about my 4 different jobs on that one. Waking up, walking the dog, funeral, live streaming a funeral, which I still do, and then comparing in the afternoon, doing something in the evening, Hopleys I think it was, and then working again in the, I can't remember what it was, working in the evening. I feel like I've got a fly on my ear. Just the things that you need to do to make it work over here, to make yourself make a mark financially on the island, I think it is. And that's what that was talking about. But thank God it was Friday. Disaster strikes in the night. I got a flat tire on the way to work, and how people helped me, and I knew it was not going to be helped. I just knew, and I couldn't do anything about it. I was going down further and further down a hole with people, trying to make sure appease them at the cost of myself, and it was still at the cost of my knees and my back on that one. My relationship with alcohol, that's exactly what I was telling you about a couple of minutes ago. It's my conflict with it. It's I think a lot of people my age, a lot of men on this channel, if you watch that one, I think you most probably may be able to associate with it. And I think in this essence, any help regarding it would be greatly appreciated, I think. But I think there'll be more on that coming in January, February, I think, because I need to look at that. Do you capture the moment? This was me only a couple of weeks ago going to Calypso. I don't appreciate moments. I actually I live through them rather than actually appreciating them, going, that was a really, really great time. And we went down there, we called it our Autonomo Christmas party, which is our self-employed Christmas party. Because when you're self-employed, there's no staff Christmas party for you. It's self-done. And I actually did on that day step back and take a moment just to look at it, appreciate the moment, appreciate what we had. And it was a fantastic day with fantastic people, and really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was a great one, that one. I really enjoyed that day. And then the final one was I don't travel well, which shows, again, a lot of people associated with that. Going to somebody else's house, not feeling comfortable until you actually get back. To me, Christmas was fantastic. Christmas Day was brilliant. My day actually started for me where I could properly finally relax around about 6 o'clock in the evening, when I sat at home and put my feet up and had a glass of wine watching Tulsa King, to be honest with you, and I could finally start my relaxation. Not telling me that it was wrong earlier and I wasn't enjoying myself at Will and Megan's, I was, but actually relaxing, that was that one. So there you have it, guys, 50 vlogs in 52 weeks. I didn't plan it that way. I always said I'd never vlog for the sake of vlogging. I don't do that. If something springs to my mind, I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. Whether people agree with it or not is the same as well. It creates discussion, it creates conversation, and I'm a big fan of conversation. So with that in mind, last day of the year, 2024, let's see what 2025 is going to bring. Just want to say, as always, your support is amazing. Thank you so much. The discussions that come up in the comments are absolutely brilliant, and I really appreciate that. So with that in mind, guys, wishing you a happy new year, all the best for 2025, and as always, we'll see you on the next one. All right, all the best. Cheers, guys. Ta-da.